Nation. No retreat talk radio with businessman Morry the Grizz Taylor. Tired of a dead economy? Expect more from America? Tell it to the Grizz.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Bill Kenyon with Morry the Grizz Taylor here in Naples, Florida. It's a beautiful March day here, and we've got a lot of news to talk about today. Some of our favorite characters are back in the news, acting up again. We want to hear from you today. Morry loves your phone calls, 855-984-7499, 855-98-GRIZZ. Well, Grizz, the first thing we're going to talk about today is Hillary Clinton's back in the news. She's always in the news, it seems like, but she's in a big way, and she's just too dang good for government email. We found a clip about Hillary expressing what she thought about public officials who use private email accounts when she was running for president in 2008. Let's listen to her comments.
You know, our Constitution is being shredded. We know about the secret wiretaps. We know about the secret military tribunals, the secret White House email accounts. A stunning record of secrecy and corruption, of cronyism run amok.
Morry, she seemed to think back then that having a private email account was violating the Constitution. She's had a change of heart, it seems like.
Well, with Hillary, it's a Clinton, what do you want to say? They're above everything. The first thing, she deliberately set this up before she became Secretary of State.
But she knew it was coming, but she did it with that in mind.
She's the only one in control of these emails. And, if you set it up, any email permanently is deleted the way she's got it. She can delete them anyway. Whereas if you go through Google, Yahoo, AOL, whatever it is, they keep. There's a record,
Right.
And
be careful what you put in your emails. Always.
You got it. And she, and of course, the system that she set up can be hacked, and it probably was. I mean, hell, they're rookies when they get to it. And she says she wants the State Department to release her emails. She's got Lenny Davis and all the rest of them out there on talk shows. Oh my gosh! And they even brought in Jeb Bush. I don't know if you've seen that. Of course, I didn't know Jeb ever worked for the federal government.
Right.
No,
he had some private emails, but he didn't work for the federal government.
He didn't work for the federal government,
and he didn't work with the securities concerns of the Secretary of State. So.
And she fired the ambassador Kenyon. Why? Because he set up a private.
He set up a private email.
It all boils down to a real simple thing. The Clintons, because all the liberals want to say how smart they are, they never want to say how they get into the crooked side. There's people put in jail for this stuff, but what? We've had King Obama. Now she wants to be Queen Hillary. She's already acting like it. It's simple, folks. No matter what you want to think, they're not so friggin' smart. They just want money. They want money, more money.
And power. Don't leave out the power.
Well, that should be given. But you see how she was flying all along, and Bill was happy she was flying all over the place.
Oh, yeah, he liked that part.
And so she's out there hitting everybody up for the money. And folks, what the hell you think people give for $10 million? Because she's some beauty champ, or it's just so much to talk to her,
You're talking about the contributions.
All the contributions from all the foreign governments
to her foundation.
It's called they're being hit up, So now they go get the what was her the new lady that was just announced, the head of the Clinton Foundation, which was one of our. Was she secretary of?
Dama Shalala. Yes.
What was she head of?
HHS, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Just a great thing, She knows how to run this stuff, and she'll tell you whatever, It's just a terrible thing
Well, you know what gets me is it's so brazen, and that the Obama White House was trying. Initially, they tried to say they didn't know anything about it.
Oh, God, give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break. They know nothing about it. Then why in the hell, if they're going after a U.S. senator who was supporting Israel, then why in the hell aren't they going after her?
Well, just you think after 5 years, somebody would have thought that's kind of weird. I got an email from the Secretary of State on her own email address.
Well, the thing that's come out that the media is not covering, and let me tell you, folks, here's what's going to happen. You know, there was lawsuits filed on Benghazi, and the State Department said they didn't have any emails.
Yeah.
So when they said that, you know, the obstruction of justice, but you see, they told that to a federal judge.
Mm-hmm.
A federal judge. Now we're going to find out, you know, what kahunas this judge has that they have come up and lied to him. They've lied in the federal court. You go to jail for that, my friends. So it's going to be how far, you know, she wants to push it. She wants to stand out in front. Now the media, but you know, the whole thing about this media thing was kind of like funny too, because who released this information to the New York Times, which is this, you know, hey, they changed diapers for Obama, okay? They would never say anything, but what happened, we believe this leak was a high-up Democrat. So
within trying to sabotage her presidential effort?
I don't know if it was sabotage for that. I think there are a few Democrats that realize, you know, they've got a bunch of bad dudes and they've got to move on. 20 years of this with the Clinton, they're not royalty. Come on, let's and you know, but the Benghazi, you know, this is you got federal judges, everybody involved in this. They should just burn her. They should really absolutely burn her for what she doesn't care about anybody. It's just, remember, when you look at Hillary, you look at what she can get. You know, remember how she said they left the White House broke? Of course, that's after she got $8 million.
Right.
So we had to take a few dishes. We had to take anything we could, you know. But it comes down, it's the same old Clinton values. They're pretty sticky fingered. Okay?
All for themselves.
Yeah, all for themselves. They don't give a damn. And you know what's bad? They turn around and they talk about how they're for the working men and women. Mm-hmm. They're for all this. Pure BS. They're Wall Street. They're everything they can get, and for those up above them. The working men and women, they're going to smile at you and just keep telling you how they're trying to get things for you. It just doesn't work.
Well, Trey Gowdy,
he's a Republican congressman that's in charge of the investigation.
He's a pit bull. He's a tough guy.
He's good, but the media is not going to do a lot. Trust me, it's going to come down to what happens. A federal judge has got power.
Right.
A federal judge can do a hell of a lot more than a congressional investigation. And remember the last time. Why does it matter? You got 4 kids. What? I'm here. Yeah, well, you know, she's here. They should have just said to her, you know. Plus, she's not good looking on TV. I know.
Okay.
Let's move on.
That's other news. Yesterday, the government came out with new unemployment figures, and they claim that things are looking better, but there's something behind those numbers. And yesterday, Morry was on Fox Business News, and we have a brief clip from that. We want to talk a little bit more about that. Can we play that clip now, please?
Unemployment's down, that's good, but wage growth is essentially flat. So how does this all work out on the ground floor with the job creators? Let's ask some of them. Let me go to you first. What do you make of these numbers overall?
Well, you want to keep your doctor? You want to, I don't believe them. That's first thing.
You don't believe the numbers at all? Well, but I'm getting the sense you don't believe the numbers.
No, because if you want to hire, you don't have any problem finding anybody. And if you think of a 5% unemployment, and back in when the numbers were really real numbers, you had to scrape the barrel when you get down to 5, and you don't have to today.
Morry, you indicated you were a bit skeptical of some of these pronouncements about unemployment. What's your picture of the economy now?
Like I said, the economy for the working men and women of this country is still bad, middle class. And, you know, I've been through times when Reagan was president, and even in some of the times when Clinton was, and we hit 5%. And let me tell you something. When you're down to a real 5%, you cannot find really good worker. 5% was the ground rule. That means we're running basically at a full employment level.
Well,
but what's happened, we're not there now. Our real unemployment's about 11% when you count the people who just stopped. They just stopped looking.
At a record high.
Because they want some good jobs. The good jobs, you know, just take a look. John Deere, all your farming economy, now that's all slowing down. The oil is slowing down. You've got construction slowing down, mining slowing down. Folks, those are high-paying jobs. Those pay good jobs. Now, the real thing everybody's got to focus, and they can all pound sand in the media, and so can an awful lot of liberals in colleges and all of that. You've got jobs being created in the health care industry because it's just going up, and up. And that's being caused by the bureaucracy that they've created, the Democrats. The Democrats just love creating bureaucracy, which government sucks out everything in private. And the feds do it. And why? There's 40,000 lobbyists, 40,000 in Washington. And trust me, they get paid a hell of a lot more, all those lobbyists do, than the 535 senators and congressmen.
Well, you know, there was also, in the second paragraph of that story, talked about wage growth.
The wage growth.
0.1%.
Folks, it's real simple. It gets back to when, hey, we got to keep talking about the damn Clintons. When the Clintons made a communist country, never before in our history, they made favored nation status.
I assume you're talking about China. Yes.
China. In China, all you do is take the Fortune 500 have manufacturing, and they ship it over there. Why? All the jobs are cheaper, and there's no duties. Our country was founded having tariffs. And if you try to go build something, you couldn't put those factories and sell the goods to the Chinese because you'd have to have a 51% China owner. And they're doing the same with India. And you're just going to chase the lowest denominator of labor. And what you're going to do, you're going to turn around and you are going to drive down the wages, the salaries, and that's what's happened. You've watched 20 years, folks, 20 years, and they just keep doing the same stupidity. Now, go back to Ronald Reagan after Jimmy Carter. What did Reagan do after Jimmy Carter? He saved Harley Davis because he put an embargo on big motorcycles, gave them 3 years. The rest is history there. Now, what else was happening? Automotive was getting slaughtered. People were making cars in cheap countries, especially Japan, flooding the market. So Reagan says, fine, we'll allow 1.5 million or 2 million cars to come in. That's it. You want more? Build your factories here. And they did. And they really gave the competition. They brought everything here. But we don't do it. You want to do that in Brazil? You want to do it in other places? You got to put the factories there. You got to have a 75% content.
Well, Morry, we're coming up to a break.
We're coming up to the break. But the thing is, remember, you can't bring this unemployment down and do this with wide open trade borders.
Call us at 855-984-7499.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proven fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in Grizz Nation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road load and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you. That's a heck of a nice voice having those commercials for you. I like
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. No Bull Talk Radio with Morry, the Grizz Taylor. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join in. Stand by for the Grizz.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Morry, it seems like the Republicans it's kind of deja vu all over again when it comes to immigration.
Well, it's the same old story. And they did pass a vote to keep out the funding of it. And, of course, then, the Democrats, everybody, and this is something everybody should understand. The Democrats are the ones that want your open border. And you turn around and wonder, well, what are you doing with the working men and women? You're just bringing in everybody else. Instead of just bringing the goods, you're bringing them in. And, politics it's two things that happen. Number one, we talked about this enough about Senator Mitch McConnell. He's the leader of the majority leader of the Senate. And he went back so that they have to have 60 votes, and the Democrats are just blocking everything. Whereas when Dingy Harry was there as the speaker and the Democrats had it, Harry just did the nuke on him and, majority rules. So he went with the 51 vote. So it is a shame that they turned around and we got enough in the House, but we don't. But
a number of the Republicans are abandoning him. The only reason he's able to hold this together was with the Democrats. So, who won the election?
I understand, but they get all worried that somebody, they ran on doing this and they got elected. Now all of a sudden they're worried because they listen. Most politicians listen to the media, and that is a joke. Okay. Especially when the media is against you. But the other thing is that you've got to, everybody talks about securing the border. I mean, if you listen, I had when Bush at CPAC, we talked about it last week, and he said, big applause. The first thing we got to do is secure the border. Well, the first thing, his father said that for 4 years, and his brother was there for 8 years. So after 12 years, did they ever secure it? And if you notice, not one time did they tell you how they were going to secure it. You want that border secured in 30 days? It's real simple. You shut down the railroad and the truck traffic coming out of Mexico, and you tell the Mexican president, you put your military and stop it. Now, folks, do you know how many millions of cars are shipped across the railroad and the trucks? Do you know all the goods? You would put Mexico right into a tight bear squeeze, all right? And that's what you got to do. And that starts it real quick. Now, you go and you say to this immigration, and they're caving, but
they got a little surprise after the vote, didn't they?
They got a big surprise because you see, the federal judge, and that's another thing, because the federal judge ruled what Obama was trying to do with executive action was more than likely, because I think it was 26 or 30 states sued the federal government. And he said, and he did, I think it was like 250, it was many page opinion.
Yes, it was very extensive.
Why he felt, and he gave a stay, why they would probably prevail. Because it's a hard thing to get a temporary stay. Now, what happened, Obama has 2 amnesty programs. One was going to start on February 18th, which he backed up and put a stay on. But there's another one in May that's coming. But the really problem was in the hearing, the lawyers for the government, for Obama, specifically said, is anything moving in any of this?
The judge asked the lawyers that.
Yeah, program. And they said, no, Your Honor, was the reply.
That was a direct quote. Yep.
And then what they found out is he has already granted 100,000. Now, but remember this. He also gave work permits. He's already cleared 5 million that nobody knew. I think it's 5.5. So this is the finish off the 10. Now, what really is crazy, tell me the UAW, any union in America that's not a government union, why are they supporting Democrats? They're taking the working men and women's dues and away to go. And it's terrible what's happening. And, lying to a federal judge, truthfully, Bill Clinton lied, and Bill Clinton lost his law license.
And most people don't realize that Bill Clinton is a disbarred lawyer.
He's disbarred, and what they ought to do the same with Hillary real quick, I mean, no one's lied more than that woman. But the big thing is they should take that government lawyer and they should disbar him. The federal judge should do that.
That'd be interesting if that lawyer.
Well, it's so pathetic that the people surrounding Obama, they think they can just do anything. In fact, this next one is really interesting. We're moving off because I get so wound up on this immigration we're doing. But listen to this, folks. Obama is considering raising taxes through executive action. Now, you know how all the intellectuals tell you how smart he is. And he came out of Harvard, went to Chicago to teach constitutional law. Well, you talk about reading the Constitution, it's not very long, but how can you get that thing screwed up? But, there's a few Supreme Court justices, I'd wonder the same thing about it. But
so he's pulling that again. He's talking about
executive action.
To raise taxes?
To raise taxes. And what he wants to do is that he knows he can't go to Congress to get taxes raised.
No, I don't think that's
We're already too damn taxed.
I don't know. He gets his amnesty approved by Congress. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. So he is got a whole group, and they're going to find out where in the various laws he can have executive action and raise it. And why not? He just did it with amnesty for 100,000. Yep. And remember this, folks. They're going to give them driver's license and Social Security. So instantly they can vote. I mean, this is...
Well, they're not legally supposed to vote, but you're not going to be able to prevent that if you have a driver's license and Social Security. You're going to be able
it's like asking Hillary, do you... Yeah, so Hillary, put your hand on the Bible, you swear to hold the upside of the Constitution, all the laws? Yes. And what did she... That's what she had to do for Secretary of State. And what did she do? She got her emails. And why do you think she's got her emails? Because you remember the Rose and all the trouble they got into? You know, it was the emails that they couldn't get out of.
There's another clip floating around there on the internet of her at a dinner, some fundraising dinner, several years ago, but in the midst of all that saying, you know, I'd be crazy to use email anymore.
Yeah, well, she just because there's a law saying if you work for the government, you're paid for the government, you flying around that big plane, sweetie, getting all those millions of dollars for Billy and Chelsea and you? Come on. You know, it is a joke, but...
We do have, speaking back on Hillary, you're lighting up the Twitter wires there. Kelly on Twitter saying this is exciting as waiting for a new season to air after a nail-biting season finale. And she asked, I think you alluded to it. Who do you think exposed Hillary's email?
I think it was. I don't think if a Republican gave it to the New York Times, you know, it would be in the classified ad section. Okay, but it was a big time Democrat. Clinton's probably already got a hit team out trying to search to find out who that is. They'll probably go to torture to some poor guy at the New York Times. But it's just, it is laughable. It is totally laughable that they think the American people are that stupid, okay? Well, we know that Goober does. We know that President Obama, but... Hillary is really a dangerous person.
Well, some of these liberal paragons seem to not have any second thought about assuming kingly powers.
No. When you're dealing with people who, the first thing, their justification on all of this is that you, America, do not know what is good for you. You don't know what is good for your family to eat. You don't know what's good for you. You just work, give us your money, and we will tell you. We know what's best for you, you know? And what I say to them, why in the hell don't you go to a different communist country? Leave us alone in this country. You want to do this stuff? Go on down to Cuba, Venezuela, okay?
Well, they seem to like Cuba and Venezuela a lot.
I tell you to go to China, but the Chinese would put a bullet in their head. Yeah.
Well, High Horse on Twitter says, in regards to Obama raising taxes through executive action, nothing from that narcissistic, delusional charlatan surprises me anymore. Let's just pray that he doesn't get away with it.
Well... praying's not going to help you, my friend. Praying is not going to help you. What you need to do...
Got to pass the ammunition.
No.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
Yeah. He's going to... you just have to start, just flooding emails to the White House, emails to everybody, and give your sound off. Now, you can do it to the Republicans. You can do it to the Democrats, That's the other thing. To show you how vicious and what they're trying to do, the senator from New Jersey...
Robert Menendez.
He probably took some money. He did all this stuff with his buddy who had... And they all think once they're there, they're entitled to it. So... but that's chicken stuff compared to what we've got. So we've run by this. We went through another 15 minutes. I'm just
you're rolling today. You're rolling.
But we're going to talk about the Prime Minister from Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Netanyahu.
I'll
say it for you.
Anyhow,
all right, we got to go. We're getting ready to come back.
He's coming up next.
984-7499. Please
give us a call.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at OvaltineUSA.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Tired of worrying about potentially toxic spills around your home, office, or garage? Now there's a quick, inexpensive way to clean up any oil-related spill. EPA-approved Oil Out Plus contains no noxious fumes or annoying scents. It's odor-free, lightweight, and easy to handle. In fact, Oil Out Plus is scientifically formulated to bond with spills on a molecular level. Cleaning up spills has never been easier. Visit Oil Out Plus to learn more. Oil Out Plus, cleaning up our planet one spill at a time.
If you work in Washington, you better duck. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join GrizzNation. And we're back with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back to GrizzNation, and we do have quite a bit of to talk about Prime Minister Netanyahu's speech before Congress. But before we get to that, Morry, I want to tell you what RB says on Twitter. This is quite the high compliment. He says, my new bucket list goal, do a guest stint on Morry Taylor's show, GrizzNation. That's
BJ,
RB.
I'm sorry, RB, by your Twitter, don't even know where you're from, but give us a call. We'll
get you in right now.
We'll give you a talk and tell you what's going on. You can ask the questions or tell us a little bit about yourself. But back to the Prime Minister. Not only is he a smart man, he's and loves his country. If you look at his history, all the education, he was a commando. This is not just some guy that can read a teleprompter for you and give you a great speech. He gives a speech from his heart and his brain, all right? And you think about what we did, or not what we did, what our president and the rest. Instead of turning around, he came to give us a speech because we know he knows more what's going on in Iran than our beloved government with what Obama's trying to destroy.
Well, they have a pretty direct interest in it, too.
That's right. And, when you got somebody, the senior mullah, or whatever he's called, running around with his big beard and everything else, and wants to death to all the Jews. He wants to wipe everything off his El Presidente stand-in, off the face of the earth. And you turn around and listen to them rap and rave about us. One thing Ronald Reagan showed, they sure to hell do change their thoughts when all of a sudden their tent or where they're sleeping blows up on them in the middle of the night. Okay?
He found a few of them that way.
He was a terrorism. Now, of course, Obama knew, and of course, he wanted to get rid of Libya. Look at the mess. All right?
Well, now, what amazed me about this, in addition to maybe having some policy differences, was the way they set this, the way Obama people set this up before Netanyahu even arrived. I mean,
well, because they run out to we got that young little senator that came from Iowa.
Joni Ernst?
Yeah, Joni Ernst. You know how she shocked everybody, at least outside of Iowa, when she used to castrate pigs, you see? Well, the Obama group, they tried to do castration on everybody prior to them even getting here. But
and they
mucked it up, okay? The only thing that happened, we had great Joe Biden. Oh, can't you be proud that he's our vice president, you know? I mean... I'm glad that El Presidente Obama moved Jimmy Carter up, but
he didn't look so bad.
Joe Biden's right down there for the worst VP, too. Now, they all skipped, they boycotted, and that's how they are. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but, and think of what I guess Obama thought that Hillary had enough money. So they got Hillary out of there, and they put Kerry, Big John Kerry. What's Kerry famous for? He's famous for one thing. He'll switch wives to one that has more money, okay? That's what he did. Now, but he kind of forgets, too, that back in, I'm speaking Secretary Kerry, who was a U.S. Senator, and remember 2003 when we invaded Iraq? That same invasion, Kerry voted for that as a U.S. Senator. Oh, but I forgot. In 2004, when he ran for president...
Didn't seem like a good idea.
He was like George Romney. He was brainwashed, His brain was washed and washed. So anyhow, it's crazy. They didn't invite the ambassador to Israel.
Wouldn't let him come. Well, American. We had nobody from our government showed up for the most important ally we have in the Middle East.
And my famous Congresswoman, ex-Speaker of the House. I just wish those people in California would quit trying to be jokesters and throw her out of office. But, she went. But you remember, she's that little old lady. She's had so many facelifts, She keeps going. There'll be funny things popping up on her as they keep pulling her belly up. But anyhow, she forgets. Wasn't she the one that, railed on Bush? And so she went over to Syria. And she went and met with the great humanitarian dictator of Syria, who now Obama's drawn the line in the sand. ICE is there. Oh, boy. The Democrats never, ever have memories, especially the liberals. They just their mouths just keep running. But, when the Prime Minister Nehu was here, he told us, how in the hell can you negotiate? Like right now, oil's down. If you wanted to put the clamps on them for people would rise up, what ones that they haven't killed, they're trying to kill them all, but Obama, he wants to talk to them. It's nuts. And to think that they chastise him because they've already let it leak that they're trying to make a deal with Iran. If you ever want to believe somebody that are really liars, I guess Obama and Kerry think they can outlie them. They're rookies. As our president would say, they're JVs when it comes to negotiations. But and I'm not talking about the Iranians being JVs. I'm talking about the president and Kerry, because they want to make a deal and they can have it in 10 years. You know,
I thought it was interesting that after all the kind of sophomoric plays by Obama and his gang, that Netanyahu appeared gracious and nonpartisan by starting his speech praising Obama by putting a shout out to Harry Reid.
Well, he was trying to, put an olive branch to it, but it's the same thing with liberals. The only thing they really understand is a good fist right between the eyes, okay? And that's what it is. And remember last year, it was John Kerry, our Secretary of State. He's negotiating with us. As he was negotiating, he laid a wreath at the grave of the man who led the attack on the U.S. Marines in Lebanon and blew up American embassy. He killed more Americans than anyone except for the terrorists at 9/11.
This is the primary negotiator, the man that we're supposed to trust, laid a wreath on the grave of that guy just last year. And Kerry has been bragging about what a close personal relationship they've established.
Well, he's real close. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's interesting who they choose as their friends. That's his friend, but then they dump all over Netanyahu.
Well, it's everybody can say what they want, but you cannot talk your way to be class. There's a lot of people that have class, and the Prime Minister of Israel has class. I don't have a lot to say for the rest of them, and so I won't say any more on them. So let's go to the other thing.
Speech, and then what happened after the speech?
Well, they just tore him apart. That's all.
They didn't lie, did they?
They always lie. They lie what he says. I mean, it's getting to be. We got probably, make the countdown. We got another. We're down to approximately 20 months, 21 months to go, and that's what you got to go. And in this whole presidency, he's never brought jobs. He's never helped the inner cities. In fact, on Fox News, they had a guy that, he voted for Obama twice, but last night he's saying he hasn't done nothing. And I almost want to say, I got no problem if the people voted for him the first time, because he claimed all these things. Hope and change, remember? That was their deal. And now you can still have some hope for change, but you got to get him out of there. And if you voted twice, then you just made Goober's statement true. So for you,
in addition to some of the specifics, it's amazing to me that we would enter into negotiations where we're openly saying that in 10 years they can have the bomb.
It's so stupid. It is. You sit there and they get the bomb. I can tell you right now, when the Israelis get the bomb, realize that the Iranians are close.
They won't have it for long.
Yeah, you got to, and the U.S. should be right there helping them.
It should.
But, there's so many things we could do, but, we beat on this. It's yesterday's news now. They're going to keep going. I wish that he would go and golf more. I wish he would spend the next 20 months on a golf course. But, it's really a sorry state. But let's move on to the override with our friends from, the Democrats who claim they want jobs. But they didn't override the veto.
We're coming hard on a break before we jump into that. But I know that's one of your favorite topics, the Keystone Pipeline, and we'll have some more news on that. Keep those tweets coming. Please give us a call. RB, we're waiting for you. You give us a call at 855-984-7499.
It's toll free.
We'll fulfill that bucket list wish. Come on back. Thank you, sir.
The Grizz. In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in GrizzNation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road load and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. Tell the Grizz sent you.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired to buy American that is creating and saving jobs every day, and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So our lip service, let our government know what really matters to be creating jobs and manufacturing made in America. After 4 years of countless jobs created through 400+ suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proven fact. Made in America matters because China is a long time under. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
I'm here.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
I heard someone from the White House say that they had no idea that Hillary Clinton was using a private email. Like, are you kidding me? Every other email is coming from government address, and you don't notice one coming from ClintonMail.com? Like, this is beyond belief. How can they get away with that?
Well, you know, Jennifer, you're not one of those dumb people or stupid, as Goober would say. You figured it out. They just pass that out. I mean, it's like they're just they think that they can go on TV and they can tell the media, and the media will just report it that they did not know. They have no clue. I mean, truthfully, if Americans forget whether you're liberal, moderate, conservative, or whatever, everybody know they're all lying through their teeth. And it's a shame. And the thing that really strikes me is that they can put their hand on a Bible and then they can turn right around and swear to tell the truth, and they're not. I agree with you. You can see right on it when it comes in. There's no government, nothing. So now maybe she confused them, because they also found out a hacker hacked in and found that she's got like a half a dozen different accounts.
Now, this wasn't some sophisticated. I mean, it was probably a sophisticated person, but it wasn't somebody from Russia or Iran. This was somebody here in America using publicly available tools, and he's already hacked her system.
And I tell you, Jennifer, they just believe that whatever they tell us, that we're going to just, okay. I mean, come on, they've gotten away with it. It's, you go back, it's hard, 20 years have gone by since all the trouble that was at the White House. And I can just tell you, as I said earlier, the Clintons, the only thing that they have any interest or love is money. And they want that money. They're not going to produce a damn thing.
You got to remember power, more. You can't leave that out of the equation.
Well, that is just an assumption. They want the power, and the power warps. And they should have said, goodbye. But, she moved to New York, and they elected her because, there's a face and all the push and everything else. It mystifies me how we can elect these people when you see what the real person when they get out there. It's just like Nancy Pelosi, the ex-majority leader. How in the hell could the Democrats vote for her? I mean, forget that she got elected. How in the hell could you vote for her to lead? She's so bad. And the same with Dingy Harry. I mean,
well, they've done a pretty good job of tying up the Republicans so far, it seems like, especially Dingy Harry.
Well, Dingy Harry has done it because, Mitch O'Connell decided to play poker and he wanted to show everybody his damn hand. Okay. So thank you, dear.
Speaking of that, we've got another caller, Ann from Mississippi.
Hello, Ann. How are you? Go ahead.
Ann, are you there?
Hi. I thought this last election put the Republicans in charge. How come the Democrats seem to be controlling both the House and the Senate?
Well, on the let's take the Senate side first. Well, what had happened is Mitch O'Connell,
that's McConnell.
He decided that he's been a senator for a long time. So what he decided to do was to put back the rule in the Senate that the Democrats had voided. When the Republicans were, they couldn't, they didn't have a majority, of course, but they had enough so that Dingy Harry couldn't get 60 votes because the Republicans all held tight. Well, Mitch O'Connell, he decided to, put that rule back in. So even though they got a 54 to 46 majority, they just allowed the Democrats now, as long as they can keep the Republicans from a 60 vote, the way you go. What they all claimed when the Senate Democrats did that is that the day would come. Well, Mitch McConnell did not decide to do that, so they voted it back to have the old rules, and it was just stupid. They should use the nuke option on them. That's my deal.
Oh, isn't that nice? They're playing fair.
And when you look at the Republican side, I really can't say that the Republican side.
You talking about the House side?
On the House side, they're doing a pretty decent job. They're passing what they said. They
didn't on immigration.
They didn't do it on immigration because, number one, the Senate, you were closing everything down, and they.
But do you think it would have been important?
They were set. No. You got to go back to what everybody has to understand. When after the election, the Democrats still had the Senate.
Right. Well,
and if you want to be upset about something, they passed the budget for all of 2015.
Right.
They passed it, okay? And they thought that they could turn around and cut this little piece out. Personally, I think they should have just made it a shorter, but the Democrats weren't going to do it, and they were going to try to blame the Republicans for shutting the government down. And I'm for shutting the damn government down, okay, on a lot of it, but the Obama and his team will just hold up Social Security checks, everything. They'll make it worse than it ever needed to be because they're very vindictive. And so, you know, they didn't want to do that, so they thought this other way. Well, I think they got some steam taken out of them because a federal judge turned around and said, hey, he put the stay in. Now, there's a lot to be said about that, and we got to see what happens because that federal judge was lied to, as I mentioned earlier. So I don't give him too much I think, except for the Senate, I think that the House is doing, if you want to grade them from 1 to 10, give them a 6, okay? If you want to grade the Senate, I'd only give them a 4.
Okay, Morry, we've got you're igniting the phone lines. We've got another caller, Gabrielle from Philadelphia.
How you doing, dear?
Hi.
Hi, dear.
My question is, do you think that there's any chance Obama's lawyers will be held in contempt of court for lying to a federal judge?
I don't know that federal judge. I think that federal judge is a great judge from the standpoint he took the legal argument that the government made and he dissected that, and to write an opinion that lengthy, he had to spend a lot of time. That man had to spend, I'd say, a minimum of 16 hours a day going through that. And I appreciate he has a lot of clerks and everything else to do the work. But trust me, he had to, it was such a monumental situation to put that stay. I do not know if he will do that. I think that they're going to pay a price in court. I think all judges are aware, and I just think that he's going to hold them. I don't know if he'd hold them in contempt, but I do believe that he will.
Well, you've
issue something to the bar, so the bar to investigate that lawyer.
You've had some experience with federal judges. They don't really cotton to being lied to, do they?
No, and they don't appreciate being cottoned to, and it's been made public. So it's not a case now that, it's just those in the courtroom that are involved. The judge has to be with other judges, everything else. And I think they 95% of the federal judges take their job very seriously. I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but they do take it seriously. I've given credit. I just think something's going to happen. I would not want to be that lawyer who gave that information, or what's going to happen, the lawyer is going to say he passed on to the court what he knew.
Right.
And so, he didn't know. And so he'll write an apology, he'll make it public, blah, blah, blah.
Wouldn't he have to tell who told him that, though?
Well, but that person, but then you're into he said, she said, but it's not the same lie to a federal judge then.
I know you want to get to Keystone, but we're coming up to another break, so I don't think we're going to be able to get to that.
We're going to have to stop all these breaks.
Well, you're on a roll today. You're on a roll today.
I'm on a roll, folks. But listen, you give us a call, the toll-free call at 855-984-7499.
855-98-GRIZZ.
The Grizz.
The Grizzly Band. Come back to the Grizz Nation.
With GrizzNation with CEO Morry the Grizz Taylor. Talk radio heavy on America and no bull. Forget the politicians. Here's the Grizz.
Welcome back.
We normally, at this time of the top of the second hour, we like to get into the Grizz growls, but the Grizz is getting a little growly today, and he's got frustrated because he wanted to talk about Keystone Pipeline. So if you're tuning in for your growls, they'll be coming up shortly.
All right, here's the situation, folks. They didn't have the votes to override them. You know, it came up the veto, so 62 to 37 on the Keystone Pipeline. Now, you've heard this is so important for our country. We can not only will we be refining the oil, we'll get the oil from Canada, but it creates jobs. And these are not minimum wage jobs. These are great jobs. But it fell 5 votes short. Now, the joke is that the Democrats always claiming they're for you. Well, I think you ought to know there was 37 of them, okay? We have placed the names and their phone numbers that voted against it. It's on our website.
Yes, sir. We're coming up.
And I ask each of you to give them a call
30 seconds.
and tell them how you feel, okay? So, this is, if you buy gas, and all of you buy gas that are listening to me, remember, you want your gas to stay a little cheap? Then call them. 37 Democrats. And scream at them. Put a little emotion to it. Because remember, the ones that are in there now for the next 20-some months, they want to see it back up. They failed. They hoped they would have $10 a gallon gas. And they don't have it now. So
it's interesting that Obama, since then, has been lying. The Wall Street Journal had an article about everything he said about Keystone is not true, including he's trying to claim that the oil is just all for export, when the only oil that would be for export is Canadian oil, and it's against the law to export American oil. And almost half of it's going to be American oil that'll be used here in America and coming in from North Dakota.
It is a shame, and what Bill said is correct. And what you need to know is that they've been lying for 6 years, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is. But now we always on the start in the second hour, we start with the Grizz growls. These are the things that tick me off. Now, we've talked about the Queen, okay? Queen Hillary. Now, do as I say, not as I do. The so-called champion of women's rights, you know how she gets up there and then she ends it all with, I think it's time for a woman president. Me. Money. That's all that woman thinks of. Anyhow, but get this. She claims how women don't get equal pay. It turns out she's right, especially for the women that work for her. All right? Latest IRS filings for Hillary and Bill's Clinton's foundation shows the 11 highest paid staffers. The top 8 are all men. And the women, they only make 77%. That was in her office. And in fact, actually, her office staffs were paid 72%. So the nice thing about Hillary, she does the talk. She's never done the walk.
Well, she
wants somebody else to do the friggin' walk.
At least she's proven that women don't get paid as much as men.
Yeah, because of her. Okay? So that's the big thing. Then Dingy Harry. This is Harry Reid, the great senator from Nevada. Now, I kind of like going to Vegas every so often, but man, I'm going to have to really turn around and ask them how in the hell they could keep sending that guy back. Because you see, corporate donors to the green energy nonprofit operated by Henry Reid's former staffers and current campaign operative have received billions of dollars of federal loans and grant money as a result of his political maneuvering. One company filed founded by his top political strategist, who's been charged with running his re-election campaign, later received $10 million in a federal grant.
Tens of millions.
Oh, yeah, tens of millions on the behalf of Dingy Harry. You know, I said it the last time. You ever see his face with his sunglasses, you know, because his face is still all bruised up? You know, he was somehow or other stretching with his band. They don't break very often, folks. Rarely. There must be divine power. Just snap that thing. Gave him a big slap. Dingy is ticked off someone much higher up. He better be careful. 9 corporate donors to clean energy project that have secured federal funding for themselves or a client due to Senator Reid's involvement. He doesn't give a damn, you know, and, you know, why should we even talk about the sucker, tell you the truth?
Oh, it's too fun for you not to talk about it.
But he lives at the Ritz-Carlton, too, folks. You know, he wasn't a millionaire. He didn't have $1 million when he came to Washington. How in the hell do you make money with all the rules and regulations? It's like the Clintons. You know, we know they wrote the book before they left the White House. She got $8 million. Hillary did, but they're always broke. It's a shame. Now, the White House is not transparent at all. Now, you remember Obama telling you? He was going to have the most open. You know, everybody was so excited. All those cheers people would do. He made a big deal for it when he ran for president. Now, a new study from the liberal Columbia Journalistic Review says Obama administration is the most secret in a half century. Now, why is it the most only in a half century? Because there was nothing else before, so there was not a lot of stuff written down. So, and it went on to say the military are given little insight into how decisions are made, who influence those decisions, whether inside or outside the White House. You know, that's pretty stupid. I can tell you, and I'm not in the media. Just go ask Valerie Jarrett. She's the de facto president. And why are we talking with Iran? She was born there. Don't ruin my Grizz. So
slipping a bit. I think he might have been drinking.
You know, but it's really something with these liberals. They want to call themselves progressive. The only thing I can say, they progressively get closer and closer to a jail cell. That's where they all belong. Okay? Say what they will, but that's the thing. Number 4. First they will, then they won't say. The Senate Democrats blocked the Iran vote. You know, remember how so many of them said that they're going to let the U.S. Senate vote on it? They're going to let it go through? You know, but no, Obama and Kerry are doing such a great job negotiating with Iran. They're so tough. That mullah probably knocks that thing off his head when he goes to bed laughing that, you know, no wonder people think we're weak, okay? But they're going to start debate next week in the Senate, but they're going to just...
Well, when McConnell, they thought that vote was going to be way off in the future.
Yeah.
And Obama has said he's trying to get this done really fast for some reason. Yeah. And so now all of a sudden McConnell says, well, we're going to vote on it now. Well, that's not such a good idea, they say.
You know, at some point, Mitch McConnell is going to have to realize it's never going to work trying to talk to their friends. Because, you see, they want to be so civil to each other. Only when the camera's there, they play to it for the people back home see it. But otherwise, it's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. Now, number 5.
Before you get too,
I'm in my Grizz. We got to call.
Well, we're getting close to a break.
Oh, gee.
I know that's your
Well,
favorite
this
word.
next one, we've talked about it. We've had the calls about it.
This is a good one, but it's
The
worth-
number
it's worth doing it right
5 that's
next
going to
week.
be, I'm just going to read the headline, tease you a little bit. Praising Hillary for her email disclosure.
Oh, someone thinks she's done a good job.
Oh,
huh?
she's doing such a job. She's so truthful. She tells you everything. I mean, you know, she was in private business. She'd been fired. But they want to do a break. We don't want breaks anymore.
Gotta go.
We'll let you go.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in Grizz Nation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road lobe and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Not safe for work if you're a bureaucrat. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to talk with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Everyone. That number again is 855-894-7499. Don't we have a caller on?
We do have a caller. I know you want to get to that praise of Hillary, but hang on one second. We've got Chris from New Hampshire. Chris, are you there?
Hello, Chris.
Hey, good afternoon, Morry and Bill. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
You know, I worked with you guys back in 1996 on the campaign up here in New Hampshire.
Is that right?
Rule. Yeah. And you guys haven't changed a bit.
Hey, what I'm doing now and telling people, same thing I said back then.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Morry, you called into my economics class a bunch of times up here in New Hampshire. I just want to thank you for that.
Oh.
That time you had taken with the classes. Hey, guys.
We had a good time back then, didn't we?
What's that?
I said we had a good time back then, didn't we? When Morry ran for president.
Question about it. I remember those cowboy boots and those RVs, like, you know, going on stuff.
Hey, you might as well be a cowboy. What can I do?
Exactly, huh?
Well, I appreciate it, Chris.
Well, hey, I'm curious about the QE money and why that's happening and why it continues to happen and why they're just not letting the market mechanism come in and let things settle. And does that have anything to do with gas prices that we're experiencing the fluctuation there?
Well, the first thing is, you got to remember now, the QE money, if you look, take a whole snapshot since this has been going on, you've got more hedge fund billionaires, you've got more money out there for them to, I call it money exchange, they slice and they dice it. This has not created jobs. This has created money. And that money has been rolling through the feds, through the banks, and to the individuals, and made some people multi-billionaires. It hasn't flowed down to the working men and women and created the great jobs, because the problem we have is we have one of the most screwed up federal trade policies. This country was founded on tariffs, and we have all the natural resources we need. And then once we got to such size, we become the market. And then once you become the market, it's the people who build things that we're making money. So now we've gone to a society at the high end where you become rich if you just sit there and slice and dice the money. And if you look at the Fortune 500, look at the public companies, I think it's like 85% of the public companies of the Fortune 500 are not there. That means somebody else bought them out. You sliced and diced the money, and that money's gone out. Well, when you had the recession and they went to pump that money, they think pumping it to them is what brings employment. It doesn't. You just give them the money. You can move factories over to China, over to India. As long as you can bring it back with no duty, that's what you're going to do. And that's what's happened. Why do you think China has a top middle class, made money, billionaires? Why do you think the same thing's over in India? So it's been this policy, and when you do that, you've made, some very wealthy, millionaires, multi, and that's what you've got. And it's like Steyer out there in California, who's been funding all this environmental. He made his money cutting and slicing money, only he did it with the dirty end that he's against now. But why the hell does he care? He's got his money, a little bit like Hillary and Bill. So that's why they're making the easy money. It is not doing a damn thing for working men and women in this country. That's my take on it.
QE. When does that QE money end, and when do you think it'll end?
I guess it's like dealing with hogs. As soon as Joni can start castrating a few of them in Washington, that would help. But the reason they call them hogs is because they just keep eating. They don't eat enough just to fill their tummy. Hogs will eat till they explode. So you got to take the food away from them. And hell, I don't know. Obama might have a few more. Bill and Hillary, and the rest of them. Dirty Harry's getting it. It's the only thing is, I'm an extreme optimism. I got more faith in what's going to happen as we go marching on. But we're going to end up with 8 bad years is what we're going to have. And it's going to take longer to get it turned around. But can we? Yes. But look at Europe. Same thing's going on in Europe now. So, and what you have, actually, if you look to Europe, I think there's going to be a lot of bloodshed in Europe, okay, because of the situation they have over there. Because they've got so much government. Creating the EU was just another stack on top, and everybody didn't join the currency. So the ones that didn't, at least they got their currency, and the rest of them with the EU, there's no way for it to survive. But if you looked at the world market for goods, you take Europe and you took the U.S., we probably had about 65% of the world market of goods. And today that's dropped because what did we do? We brought ourselves down, and the Europeans followed suit, and that brought China and India up. And that's the way I look at it.
Well, thanks for the call, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Give us a call another time. And I got my Hillary I got to beat up on right now. Thanks, Chris. Thank you for the call. Now, Hillary's getting praise that she released the emails to the State Department. Well, she is, he forgot something. This was Congressman.
Yeah, who's praising her?
Elijah Cummings, Democrat from Maryland. Now, he's a fella that sits next to, who's he next to? The head of that committee.
Is that the Benghazi?
Yeah.
Gowdy.
Gowdy. Well, the joke about it is this. His claim to fame, he walked with Martin Luther King. I'm going to tell you out in Maryland, what has he ever done for you for that? He's just going to talk about that? Martin Luther King was a great man, okay? This fella, as far as I'm concerned, you know, he is so partisan. If they shot somebody, he would have an excuse for him.
Well, he's leaving out a key point, isn't he?
And the whole big thing that they left out, he didn't tell you, or he didn't say a word about. Hillary chose what emails she releases. Her staff went through them. Oh, you know, here's one to Eli. Merry Christmas, you know. Or what are you looking for the Easter Bunny to bring you, you know? I mean, it's like praising Ted Bundy for being such a good citizen because he showed the cops where he buried the bodies. I mean, give me a break, okay? You know? Why don't he just shut up and sit there? Number 6, the judge finds the EPA in contempt. Here's another one. They lied.
More lies?
More lies. And they don't really care if they did so. A watch group suspected President Obama had ordered his EPA to begin his war on coal, not to begin it, until after the 2012 election was over, of course. And what transpired? The Landmark Legal Foundation, under the Freedom of Information, you know how they have to give everything? Well, what happened? The EPA, they wanted the records from the White House and the EPA. The judge finally forced them to release the documents last December. He said the EPA intentionally delayed releasing the documents and hasn't offered any indication of regret. You know, that's, in a simple word, the judge. He probably is a real liberal judge still now that I think about it. Why don't you just call him a liar? Why in the hell didn't you hold him in contempt? You know, start putting a few of their fannies in jail. All right? So those are my points. I haven't gotten through a couple other of my ones, okay? I got to watch my watch.
No, I was just going to say that he was, not only did they lie about it, he pointed out, they went out of their way to show that they didn't give a damn that they did lie about it. I mean, that if you get to perjury is sort of the foundation of all our whole legal system.
Well, that's true, but even the judge, perjury is lying.
Yes, yes.
Let's deal it to how
perjury is lying.
Most Americans understand. We don't need the fancy words that, you know, it didn't let us astray or something else. They lied, point blank and simple. Now, what are the other things?
Before we get to, I got Twitter here.
All right. He reads things and laughs, okay?
Well, I didn't say, Thomas on Twitter, and referring to your statement about the praising Hillary for her emails was like Ted Bundy showing the feds where the bodies are. He says it, or like praising Ted Kennedy for his driving skills. That'd be another.
Now
good
that's
analogy.
a pretty good one.
Pretty good
Thanks for that
analogy.
one. You know? Oh yeah, Ted. You know, he should have been in jail. You know, all the laws he broke. But
all right, well, that's the magic words, or magic sound, excuse me.
yeah, just coming in our sounds, folks. They keep playing the sound. So we got to go for another break.
Quick break, but we will be back. Please give us a call at 855-894-7499. Thank you.
The Grizz.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Soon this little baby I'm singing to sleep will start to walk. Before I know it, I'll be dropping her off at school, beaming when she walks up to accept her diploma, or holding back tears as she takes those big steps down the aisle. But before she takes all those steps, she and thousands like her will need you to take yours. Join March for Babies to help make her steps possible. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Hi, I'm Julie Bowen, asking you to walk with me in March for Babies. Too many children in our country are being born prematurely or with birth defects. They have to fight to survive every day, but you can make a difference. Your steps in March for Babies can help them take their first steps. Visit marchforbabies.org to start your team and raise money to ensure that babies are born healthy. Let's walk together for stronger, healthier babies.
Uh-oh. GrizzNation is back. Now nobody in Washington is safe. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join the conversation. Now here's Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. And by the way, if you want to call us at 855-984-7499. Now we're back to our majority leader, Senator Mitch McConnell. He says the state should ignore the EPA. Well,
you like that idea, I imagine.
Pardon?
Yeah, I said you would like that idea, I imagine.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree with him, but he's urging the states not to file the plans with the EPA to comply with its new clean power plan. Now,
i.e. the war on coal.
Yeah, it's Obama's war on the coal. And the final EPA rule, which is expected to come out this summer, requires the states to reduce the carbon dioxide output 30% by 2025. Now, the problem to all of you is this, is that today, 40% of your electricity and comes from coal power. Now, the ability of the coal companies have made tremendous changes over the years, okay? Now you're talking a little carbon dioxide gas. Now, do you know what you need carbon dioxide for, folks? You need it for things to grow green. That's why they call it greenhouse gas. So the joke is that I happen to agree with all of them, and it's going to cost to try to do this. $1/3 trillion. What's $1/3 trillion? About $330 billion. Now, what else they're going to do, if they do it, is going to shove your electricity up. So think back. You know, it's so funny about progressives. Think back to Jimmy Carter. Remember when the Iranian hostages, and then we had the problem with they took the oil, didn't ship us the oil. So he had his big sweaters on. Turn your thermostats in your houses down to 60 degrees. This is the way we should do it. And we were going to run out of oil by 1990, in the 90s. Progressives have never had it right. They've never had it right. And why do we keep electing them? Just look in New York. Look at the mayor in New York. You know?
He's a piece of work, isn't he?
Let's turn it over to the crooks. Oh, and they're going to have sensitivity training. Here's how wacko this is going. You have public companies now. We have public companies that they actually are having managers go to have sensitivity training. Why in the hell do they spend more time how to sell their product, how to figure out how to get their product down in cost, everything else? I mean, when you go home, you're going to, if you want to do this in your home, then do it. But you're going to go out in a business place, you got to fight to win. If you work for a company, you got to be able to sell its product. This is so nuts. This is how you lose. I don't know who pushes all this stuff on us. It really is nuts. But anyhow,
we've got another
the courts
caller.
are going to sue.
We've got another caller following up on the Keystone comments. James from Houston. Are you there, James?
How you doing, James?
I'm doing great.
What would you like to
My
ask
question is, do you think there's any chance Obama is going to eventually approve the Keystone Pipeline?
I think I actually don't think so. Because what Obama is looking at right now, forget his retirement pay from all of his government service, his Secret Service protection for life for him and his wife. I actually believe he's going to make a lot of money going out and giving speeches and everything. But what he's really, I think, looking at is how many of these progressive boys that he's helped get their billions of dollars while he's been in office, are going to take care of him. And so, they don't want it done. And the reason behind them, they don't give a damn about what they claim. They're betting, they're money exchangers. What I call them is they slice and dice the money. And I think the only way he would ever do it is if the public turns around and just goes after those 37 senators, because I think they can do it in the House. I really think the House can turn it over. But if the public turns around, and we put it on our website, the 37 senators from the Democratic side, all they need is 5. And if they bust away 5 of them that will do it, I think they'll bring that bill back up and pass it. And they'll pass it with the veto proof. And then it don't make a damn bit of difference what he wants to do. But at that point, if they get it there, he'll come up and he'll take credit for it. He does not want anything to be overridden. That I truly believe, and because he couldn't win anything in court then to stop it. So that's my point. I don't know if you agree or you disagree, but that's my point. Thank you, though. Appreciate.
Thanks for the call.
All right, now we're back to the Supreme Court has heard the oral arguments on Obamacare. And all of you've heard enough on Obamacare. I really, and I've stated this before, there is a lot of reasons, and there's some good things. Portability. Nobody wants to see somebody who went to get another job, and then because he had diabetes, he couldn't get insured. All of that. Now, but everybody has to understand the medical business and where it's all screwed up. And where it's screwed up, folks, is that every state has their own insurance regulation bureau. You have your own medical, whatever they call it, health, whatever, where they govern what you can do with the doctor can do, what you do with hospitals, how many beds, everything. It is so political sized. So what you have to do, and they never really cleaned up their act. So I think you have to have something where you cross the line so insurance company who does a good job can go into any 50 states, and the states can't screw with them. And, insurance in healthcare in Mississippi is going to be cheaper in the state of New York, at least in the cities. So they've got that with car insurance now. But I do believe there are some guidelines. Nothing like Obamacare. Obamacare is just a total friggin' joke. Anytime you write 2,000 pages of law and then you got regulations of 20,000, folks, it was written for lawyers. They're all lawyers, and so it's got to be blown up and start over. But I do believe the Republicans should write a bill, and they should keep it, where you can actually read it and make it simple for what they would like to present. Then I think you blow it apart. I agree with the 26 states that filed on the 31. One of the two. 26 and 31 states filed that they didn't do the exchanges, and the goofy Democrats,
that's
progressive,
the funny thing, yeah.
They were going to, politically, look at, you didn't do this for these people? Well, they didn't. So they're not supposed to be in there. So now they want to rewrite the law because it didn't work.
Well, if they would rewrite the law, that'd be fine. Now they
don't. They want to change the words they want,
right,
and they want the court to do it.
Yeah,
and that's what they're trying to do. Now,
I mean, it's interesting in the history. Usually, when the feds say they're going to give the states something, they've been pretty good at getting the states to go along with it. But they surprised them on this one,
and that's right. And so, what I think is the same thing that happened. I think Chief Justice Roberts, he made a left field catch, okay? And what he did, he was standing back by the wall, and by the, there was no, you know how they have the post there for a home run? He reached over and he caught it out of bounds. And he brought it back in bounds. And while he was bringing it back in, he dropped the ball out of the glove, so it counts as a home run. But
I assume you're talking about the previous Supreme Court decision.
Yeah, the previous Supreme Court decision. So now you're going to tell them that you did all that work, and if you do this, you did away with it. They should, but I don't think he will.
That doesn't.
And I think the vote's going to be 5-4 again.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, damn you if you do, damn you if you don't. And
well, it seems pretty clear. I mean, it's pretty clear. It says if the states don't set it up, you don't get the money.
yeah, well, I can tell you in the Constitution it says to you, too, that the federal government should have nothing to do with religion or established of any religion, okay?
I know that. Let's don't get into that today.
I get into all of them, okay?
All right, well, one more break, and we'll be back. Call us at 855-984-7499.
The Grizz.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in GrizzNation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road load and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Think it's bad now? You ain't seen nothing yet. Just dial 855-98-GRIZZ to ask the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. We, last 15 minutes, damn, this show's been going
Gone fast. It's been a good one.
And I would suggest, they had a great editorial today in Wall Street Journal. And the headline of it, a union charter flunks out. You know, you've heard the teachers union. Our colleges, high schools, grade schools were the envy of the world when you go back and after World War II. And then as we progressed up, put the people on the moon. And by the way, folks, nobody else has walked the moon. So, yes, we're very unique. America's the greatest place in the world. And we are exceptional, okay? But there's people who don't think that, starting with our president, okay? And all of his other buddies. Now, but we all know our schools have steadily gone down. Now, first thing is, they're smart kids. There's other kids who at that point of their life might be thinking of a lot of other things. There's a lot of difference. And schools can help. But remember, you're born with your brain cells. So there's going to be kids who, no matter how the greatest teachers in the world, are not going to make them smart. And there's kids who aren't real smart, but they work so damn hard and they just have the dog determination, and they beat a lot of the kids that are brainy. Progressives might be brainy, but without people who work hard and have a good faith, the world would eat them up. Okay? But here's back to this unionist deal.
So what happened?
So the union turns around and the union says, we're going to have an 8 to K school and we're going to show you charter people how to do it. This is the truth in New York. They started a school. The union was all trustees from the union. They turned around, staffed it with the best union teachers. They funded it all. And not a public announcement. It was in Brooklyn, folks. The United Federation of Teachers. It seems as if kids didn't do too good in that school.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so they're probably going to blame all the kids, you know. Well, anyhow, they closed it.
Oh, really?
They closed it. Now, let me tell you something. So, why would you ever allow them to be organized in your school? Because, and that's what's happened. You know, it's hell. Look at the universities. I heard today out in Berkeley, it's up. They don't want the American flag on the campus. Did you hear that?
No. What's that?
Only in Berkeley. Wait till I get a hold of my buddy Michael Lewis and ask him what you write about those yahoos. But it is. We're losing and I should say what we're losing is to be proud. To be so proud of our heritage and the patriotic men and women of this country. And you look at all the things that developed, where we're going, it's great. But then you turn the TV on and you're going to listen to all this on the pay and everything else. And the biggest discriminatory people in that are other women, okay? So I want to tell you, in our factories, I've had factories that are run by women. The lady is the CEO of our track business. Now, what's the track business? This is for bulldozers. You see those steel tracks going around? Her name is Cecilia LeMan. Now, she came from Price Waterhouse, and she came in and worked our way through. But last 20 years, she's proved she is meticulous, she understands, and she gets involved. And when she has to be tough, she can really be tough. But she's as good as anyone else I've ever run into. And our wheel business, we took a failed business. It was a farmer's wife who come to work for us, and she was promoted up. She ran that factory. Factory had 1,000 people in it. And let me tell you something. I've never met anybody who came out of an MBA school who could operate a manufacturing facility as well as that lady. Now, you say, well, you know, you comparing it. Yeah, most MBAers are just, you know, they're for the hire. You don't see a lot of entrepreneurs in the manufacturing side that start, and they do it after they've been coming out of with their MBA in business, because they would never go down there. I mean, that's you got to get your hands dirty, you know. But this is a big thing, and this is the exceptionalism that we have in this country. We've always had the exceptionalism so that when in the military, if you proved yourself that you could lead, you could be promoted right up from a private. You could get a field promotion and be an officer. Yeah. You can't do any of that in Europe, folks. You go to work in Europe and you work in a factory, you can't get promoted into management unless you leave and you go to a university, because they believe only university makes you smart, which is really stupid. Now, it used to be that way in the automotive. Yeah, think about that. Automotive, you get promoted from an hourly to a supervisor to a general foreman, and that's how you promoted up. But all of a sudden, back in the 60s, they decided that, oh, you can't be in management there unless you have a degree. And you can't get to a certain part unless you have your MBA. I'm sure glad nobody told Bill Gates when he quit Harvard. If he'd stuck in Harvard, he probably wouldn't be the richest man today.
No way.
But you would think someone would have fired the guy at IBM who sold them the operating system for nothing, okay? So, but that's what takes place. And when you think about it, we are a very exceptional country. And we all just have to quit listening to these wackos. And I know there's a lot to think I'm a wacko.
You're a lovable wacko, though, Morry.
No, yeah. Good thing my wife would say that. But I've met so many men and women in this country that are just the salt of the earth, and they're so smart, and they create something. And I can honestly say that I feel proud that I've been able to work with people to create. And we've got about 6,000 employees now around the world. We had to take a lot of employees, lay them off this year because of the way it's going. That's always hard. And we're going to work our fanny to get it back. And I hope the rest of it, you take that message, no matter what you want to do, just do it the best you can, because that's really all you can really do. And the little music's going to start a minute.
Well,
Kenyon here came in from Texas. Of course, he's from a very liberal section. You know, if you put the big state of Texas and you say, where can we put a red pin?
That's about right.
And you put this pin, and that's where all the screaming progressive liberal. And I haven't heard now. It's been kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the goofy judge in Austin is allowing that, you know, your little drunk DA down there, the lady drunk.
Right.
She still got her charges because Rick Perry, ex-governor, he took her money away because she didn't resign.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to court, trial. As of now, to trial, excuse me, yeah. But
what's wrong with the other judges throwing it out?
Well, you know, I'm surprised they haven't thrown it out. It is one of the most, what's happening to Rick Perry, that the ACLU and the liberal press should be up in arms about that. It's so egregious that any government in America can veto things.
Well, only, you see, that's with the progressives. Now, you see it's happening in a conservative state like Texas. Now, where in the hell is our buddy Holder or his new attorney general? I want one of them to stand up and charge Hillary. All right? Now, nobody knows where all those secret documents with secrets on them, because she had top clearance. Mm-hmm. So where'd that come in the email? And that is against the law. Just look at Petraeus, what happened to the general, a 4-star general. He had secret documents he took home, put them in his folder, put them in his desk. But because he did that, they were copies. because he did that and they weren't secured, he's charged with a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Why is he charged? Because Obama was mad at him because he wrote a book and he told the truth. And Obama didn't like that. Now we got Hillary. Hell, what she did is a felony, folks. A felony. And she wants to run for president. God help us. Okay.
That's a good place to leave it, Morry. We're
right.
running out of time. Thank you again for joining us. It's always a blast to get the Grizz Nation together. We're in Naples, Florida today. I believe that's where it's going to be next week. We've done this show all over America, in Detroit, San Francisco, Austin, Florida, and I'm sure there'll be many. When you hang with Morry, you're busy. Come back next week.
Maybe we'll go to Russia and do it.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, do it at one of my factories. Appreciate it. Thank you all.